started. Let us get started. Welcome into another episode of Live with Chris's World. Today is Thursday, January 30th. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate you being tuned in. I'm going to get right to the rundown. We're not going to have an extended monologue as we usually do. This show airing live on X, Rumble, and YouTube every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so last night, right when I got off the air, about an hour program, 8 to 9, right around 8:45, 8:50, late 8 o'clock last night, we all got word of the small airliner, the commuter jet, American Eagle with American Airlines, colliding with a Black Hawk helicopter outside of Reagan Airport over there in D.C. A lot to discuss with that whole situation, and I'm sure everybody you've been flooded with this news. We've all been flooded with this news over the past 24 hours. I'm not going to beat a dead horse too bad. I will, however, provide you guys with something to think about, some food for thought in regards to what Trump was saying with DEI, and I really want to bridge that gap because people are looking at Donald Trump in an insensitive way with the way that he handled his press conference today. And I think that you've got to look at it through the lens that I'm going to present it to you through. So we'll talk about that. In addition to this horrible, horrible crash that occurred, we did have the confirmation hearings for Kash Patel today, Tulsi Gabbard, day 2 of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. There was fireworks in all 3 of those hearings. I've got the highlights, the high moments, the stuff that you're going to want to see. So stick around for that. In addition to the confirmation hearings, just a couple of other headlines. I want to show you guys. We're talking about this Trump administration, this team that is assembled here. They're not taking any bullshit. Very serious group. I'll prove it to you. JD Vance has a funny story about Donald Trump hitting the red Coca-Cola button in the Oval Office. I'm sure you can imagine what JD thought when he saw Donald Trump just press the red button. But there's a funny headline on that. And then Trump imposing tariffs on, I believe, Mexico and Canada. So we will talk about those tariffs, why it will work, why it makes sense, and why anything a liberal tells you in regards to tariffs is absolute bullshit. Remember, when it comes to tariffs, why is it always going to be so effective? Because the most powerful thing on the globe is the United States consumer. Period. That's it. So thank you for tuning in. This show, Live with Chris's World, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to get things started right now. So we'll start off with this plane crash, and it is really horrible because there were a lot of young people on board. It wouldn't have been any better or worse if it doesn't matter what the age is, but when it's young people, it is worse, right? Because these people had their whole lives in front of them. Some of them were young parents, others were teenagers and young kids who would have gone on to be parents and would have gone on to have successful careers, and those lives now have been taken away. It's a terrible thing that happened. It does seem like this accident was preventable. Let's not beat around the bush. It seems that way. Clear skies. So here's the video. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'll play the video here for you. Check this out. This is zoomed in, so it's blurry, but you can get a look at what happened. The big bright light is the plane. That blinking light there is the helicopter. And it is almost it's kind of like the helicopter. I mean, one more time, and we won't play it again, but we'll play it one more time. The helicopter goes right into the plane. Quite crazy. I mean, it is a direct line into the plane's flight path. Now, the plane coming in for landing. So shortly after this happened, Donald Trump sent out a post. Here it is. The airplane was on a perfect and routine line of approach to the airport. The helicopter was going straight at the airplane for an extended period of time. It is a clear night. The lights on the airplane were blazing. Why didn't the helicopter go up, down, or turn? Why didn't the control tower tell the helicopter what to do instead of asking if they saw the plane? This is a bad situation that looks like it should have been prevented. Not good. Donald Trump, 100% right. How can you, you see this footage? Now, this is a horrible thing. It's tough to see something like this and see the lives that were affected and then immediately snap into reality, game, like go mode. It's tough. Like, it pulls on your heartstrings in a big way, and it's human to feel that way. You don't, even if you don't know any of these people, you don't have to. If you're a good human, you watch that and you take a step back and you say, holy crap, could happen to any one of us. It's the routine flight. Now, of course, there's a lot of volume, military activity taking place in the airspace around that airport. But there's been a lot of activity taking place around that airport for decades. This isn't something that had just happened. So what can we look at that has potentially changed recently about the application process, about the quality of the candidates that we're accepting into air traffic control, the quality of candidate that we're allowing to fly a Black Hawk helicopter in a very congested area with civilian flights? Was somebody pushed along? Was air traffic control understaffed? These are the questions that I have. Now, we're getting reports of the pilot. Now, I'm not going to, we'll report on it next week because I want it to be for sure before I come out. But we're getting reports that a woman pilot was piloting the Black Hawk helicopter. This is per Fox News. You just look it up. With only 500 hours of flight experience. I say that to say this. I'm not telling you that if there's a woman who wants to be a Black Hawk helicopter pilot and she is just as good as every other Black Hawk helicopter pilot, she should be allowed to be one. But there also is lanes and what we're pushing people into. And if we should be pushing them into the lanes we're pushing them into, should we be forcing women to be Black Hawk helicopter pilots? Should we be forcing men to be nurses? This is a lot of what we're seeing in society today. I'm just asking the question, well, should we be doing that? Because now you see, and I don't know if this is true, by the way. These are recent reports that we're seeing. I have Fox News on the TV behind the camera. But it is conflicting reports. So let's take a deeper look into the application process. So, current job listing for an air traffic controller on the FAA's website is open to people with disabilities, including psychiatric and intellectual delays. Wait. Air traffic controllers are allowed to have psychiatric and intellectual delays. Have you been on an airplane in the past year, month, week, couple days? You think that your life is in the hands of the pilot. Surely it is. Additionally, in the hands of air traffic controllers as well. How do you feel knowing that air traffic controllers can be hired with psychiatric and intellectual delays? Whether or not that was the cause of this crash, that is still something that existed. It won't anymore, but it did. How do you feel knowing that was allowed? Condoned, pedestaled, and pushed by the previous administration. I'm not even giving you my opinion, although you probably can tell by the tone of my voice, but I'm just simply highlighting the facts. Okay. I mean, this is, and here's the proof. Like, you could check out this tweet. It's all over the place. Just type it in. You could find this information all over the internet. Here it is, though. I'm making it easy for you, putting it up on the screen. It's all highlighted: speech impediments, psychiatric disorders, disabilities. I mean, check it out. PTSD, major depression, for example, schizophrenia, bipolar. I mean, how is somebody that's suffering from schizophrenia allowed to be a fucking air traffic controller? And here's Trump talking about it a little bit. I mean,
I do want to point out that various articles that appeared prior to my entering office, and here's one. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them. They can be air traffic controllers. I don't think so. This was in January 14th, so that was a week before I entered office. They put a big push to put diversity into the FAA's program.
And there's a fair share of people out there that question Donald Trump, that will look at Donald Trump and say he's a liar. They'll look at him and say that that's not true, that the FAA absolutely did not push any sort of DEI policies. The liberals will say that, right? And shows like mine exist to be a humble reminder to you guys. Here is Brad Mims, former deputy administrator of the FAA.
Hi, I'm Brad Mims, Deputy Administrator at the Federal Aviation Administration. We are looking for the best and brightest to join us as air traffic controllers. We need a diverse group of air traffic controllers to bring distinct perspectives to handle the ever-changing aerospace landscape. I'm calling on students and alumni from HBCUs, Hispanic serving institutions, and tribal colleges to apply now to become air traffic controllers. I don't want anyone interested to miss out on this amazing career opportunity. Make sure you complete your full application during our application window.
Now, the problem isn't that there's minorities, women, you name it, any right? You name it, ethnicity, race, religion, whatever you want to call. That's not the problem. You're asking for disaster when you are basing a recruiting video on diversity. We are talking about missiles in the sky traveling at 500 miles an hour. And your focus is having a diverse group for the always changing airspace of the skies. Hello. We always said that DEI kills. And it does kill. DEI kills. we're not sure, of course, if DEI is directly to blame for this incident. I'm not going to sit here and stare at the camera and tell you that it was. I don't know. I'll have an opinion for you next week. Let's let more information come out and let's not jump to conclusions. But it is looking like, if you don't want to use the word DEI, you replace it with incompetence. It's looking as if incompetence had something to do with this crash on behalf of the Black Hawk helicopter and air traffic control. That's all I've got for you on that one. It's heartbreaking. So many kids lost their lives. Young parents lost their lives. The pilots, the crew lost their lives. Thankfully, nobody on the ground. But what a terrible thing to have witnessed last night. Prayers, thoughts go out to the family. And wow. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. When we do return, we are going to talk about the confirmation hearings with Kash Patel, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. Fireworks happened today. We're going to cover all of that, the highlights, the moments that you're not going to want to miss. So stick around. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Joe Biden. Joe Biden pardons Anthony Fauci, Mark Milley, J6 committee members, including Liz Cheney. Check this out. This is what I'm reading here. What a disgrace. Here we have, so let's read this post coming from Colin Rugg. 20 minutes before leaving office, while he was in the rotunda at the Capitol, President Biden pardoned his family. His last act as president. This is his last act as president. Why do you need to pardon people if they did nothing wrong? The Biden crime family was never just a slogan. It's the truth. Again, I want to give Colin Rugg credit. Post coming from Colin Rugg. Absolutely true. Here is who avoids justice thanks to Biden. James Biden, Sarah Jones Biden, Valerie Biden Owen, John T. Owen, Francis Biden, Dr. Anthony Fauci, General Mark Milley, Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, Adam Kinzinger, other members and staff of the J6 committee. Guys, how it's blatant. These people still need to be investigated, even if they can't be charged fine. I want to know, because we still need accountability. And although we might not be able to hold them accountable in the court of law, people still need to know the truth. We deserve the truth. Now, I'm about moving forward. I don't want to take any step back, but we need accountability, and we need to know exactly what happened here. Because why are they being pardoned? Why should Fauci get a pardon if he was the holy ghost of COVID? Oh God, Anthony Fauci. Why? So if Fauci is glorified in such a way, right? Anytime you turn on.
You're tuned in to Chris's World, a daily podcast covering the controversial topics of today through a conservative, patriotic lens. Tune in every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for Chris's World, only on X.
All right, so let's get to these confirmation hearings. Let's talk about Kash Patel here. Here's how we start off.
America will be safe when we don't have 200,000 drug overdoses in 2 years. America will be safe when we don't have 50 homicides in a day.
So you just won't answer the question.
I am here.
I don't think we're safer.
America will
So the question that was posed to Kash Patel here was in regards to the January 6ers that were let out of prison, that were pardoned by Donald Trump. They deserve to be pardoned, all of them. So the senator is saying, do you believe America is a safer place now that these, 1,500 January 6ers are pardoned? As if these January 6ers are getting out of jail and then they're going to go running around and attacking people. So what the senator is neglecting to realize is that his party's policies have been pro-criminal and against the well-being of American citizens for a minimum of the last 4 years. The Democrat Party has changed. They have changed the classifications. You could look at New York. You could look at Los Angeles, of felonies down to misdemeanors to help. And now, of course, to give credit where it's due, because you know what? I could just slam that talking point, but just to give credit where it's due, California voters woke up a little bit and they just reversed one of those classifications in what is considered to be grand theft. So now it's a felony if you're stealing over a certain amount in California. But for the previous 3 years, people were walking into stores, stealing whatever they want. This senator here comes at Kash Patel in regards to the pardoning of January 6ers, acting as if America is now an unsafe place because these 1,500 people are walking around. Meanwhile, the Democrat Party has willingly and openly had an open border policy allowing tens of millions of undocumented, unvetted individuals from hundreds of different countries. It's not like they just came from Mexico. You're talking China. You're talking North Korea, South Korea, you name it. Haiti. All over the place. Africa. They're coming from everywhere. 150 different countries. How about when we talk about safety, let's reflect on our own party's policy first. So let's get into a little bit more here. Here is Senator Mazie Hirono, an absolute clown. Check this out.
Hear your answer, yes or no. Did you make money?
I don't have
This
those
is my third
financial
and last time I'm going to
disclosures
ask you
in front
that
of me.
question.
You have that information.
So you refuse to answer the question.
I answered
Here
1,300
you
pages.
are,
of
you
the question.
are, you, no answer. And yet you spread dangerous misinformation. Hear your answer, yes or
Point
no.
that
Did you make money?
I want to hone in as I go through these clips on the confirmation hearings. These people are disgusting. These Democrat senators are nasty people. Nasty people. The last thing on their mind is the best interest of Americans. That is the last thing on their mind. Number one is getting that sound bite, getting that click, getting that quick moment, that little 5 minutes of fame, because nobody fucking knows their names if it isn't for that quick moment. And the fact that they're pressing a popular person like a Robert F. Kennedy Jr., like a Kash Patel. You know, these are viral moments that have been happening, but think back 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago. Of course, the internet wasn't what it was, but were these always must-see TV moments? No, because the individuals didn't have the star power that this team has. And I mean that in a good way. That's why the America First movement is as strong as it is, because of the star power and influence, positivity, and moral compass that all of these individuals have. And it's relatable. The everyday American is tired of delusion being pushed onto their reality. And this Trump team is bringing common sense back to America. But these Democrat senators they're vile. They're nasty people. I mean, listen to Adam Schiff. But you know what's nice? Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., they're all giving it back. They're pushing back. Damn right. Don't let these nasty, nasty senators talk to you that way. Push back a little bit. Here's some more with Kash Patel and Adam Schiff.
That's new. So when you said we, you didn't really mean you. Is that your testimony?
Not unless you have a new definition for the word we.
Oh, okay. I always thought we included the person who pronounced the word. That's new. So when you said we, you didn't really mean you. Is that your testimony?
Here's a little more. Adam Schiff, Kash Patel.
I want you to turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at them. I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money.
He's talking about Capitol Police. So what's happening here, just to contextualize for you, Adam Schiff is pressing Kash Patel about a fundraiser that Kash Patel was involved in promoting that helped provide funds and money to January 6ers that were in jail. So what Adam Schiff is trying to do is falsely pin it on Kash Patel, like Kash Patel was funding people that were abusive to DC cops. So Adam Schiff is implying that Kash Patel is against DC cops, which is absolutely not the fact. And wait, Kash Patel's response is great. I'm gonna let it play.
Money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. Tell them you're proud of what you did, Mr. Patel. They're right there. They're guarding you today. Tell them how proud you are.
That's an abject lie, and you know it.
How
I've
proud you are.
never, ever accepted violence against law enforcement. I've worked with these men and women,
didn't
as you
accept
know,
it. You
my entire
glorified
life.
it in song,
And I did
Mr.
not make
Patel.
a single dime out of
In
it.
song. Well, let me.
How about you ask
let me
them
ask you
if I
this.
have
Let
their
me ask
backs,
you
and let's
this.
see about that
Let me ask
answer.
you this.
Boom. Boom. Mic drop right there. How about that, Adam Schiff? Why didn't you turn around and say, hey guys, you know what? Good point, Kash Patel. What do you guys think? Does Kash have your backs? All of them would say yes. And Adam Schiff knows that. That is why Adam Schiff didn't bite on the glove, the little OJ moment. Adam Schiff says, I could put the proof into the pudding. I'm not going to do that. Because Adam Schiff knows that all of those officers are pro Kash Patel. So here's another senator who, and a lot of this, right, it isn't inquiring to see if this candidate is the best potential candidate for the job. Because this should be the role of these hearings, is to get information out to the public, the other senators that are going to vote, valuable information that could help enlighten them on their voting process. But that isn't what actually happens. They don't give a shit at all about the Inquisition. They just want to grill somebody and have them sit there silent. I mean, that's what's happening.
The rest of the interview. This is why snippets of information are often misleading and detrimental to this committee's advice and consent
Well,
process.
if you consent, I would love to have 5 hours of questions, and then I could read the whole transcript.
You've got 2
Okay.
minutes.
Wow.
The rest of the interview. This is why snippets.
You get 2 minutes, sweetheart. Go. They're just, here's one more with Kash Patel. Then we'll move on to Tulsi Gabbard. But check this out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Patel, do you believe that background checks for firearm purchases are constitutional?
I don't know the in-depths of it, but I think that's what the Supreme Court has said, Senator.
So the word would be YES, yes. Can you say yes? Are background checks constitutional?
I can say whatever the Constitution and the Supreme Court ruled is the rule of the land.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
These they're bullies. They're bullies. But I think that the American people are seeing it. I do. Because there's no way you watch these hearings and think that the Democrats are acting in good faith. So here's Tulsi Gabbard. Right off the rip, letting them know.
Before I close, I want to warn the American people who are watching at home. You may hear lies and smears in this hearing that'll challenge my loyalty to and my love for our country. Those who oppose my nomination imply that I am loyal to something or someone other than God, my own conscience, and the Constitution of the United States, accusing me of being Trump's puppet, Putin's puppet, Assad's puppet, a guru's puppet, Modi's puppet, not recognizing the absurdity of simultaneously being the puppet of 5 different puppet masters. The same tactic was used against President Trump and failed. The American people elected President Trump with a decisive victory and mandate for change. The fact is, what truly unsettles my political opponents is I refuse to be their puppet. Now, before I close, I want to warn
It's good stuff. And you know what? It's a good warning too, because that is what happens. Hey, American people, you're about to hear a bunch of bullshit come out of the mouths of these senators. Nothing compromises the integrity that I have and the love that I have for this country. It's a great opening statement by Tulsi Gabbard. But of course, the Democrats, they didn't wait to jump down her throat. So here is Senator, this is Senator Moran. Let's see what he has to say.
I want to make certain that in no way does Russia get a pass in either your mind or your heart, or in any policy recommendation you would make or not make.
Senator, I'm offended by the question because my sole focus, commitment, and responsibility is about our own nation, our own security, and the interests of the American people. In carrying out the responsibilities of the Director of National Intelligence, if confirmed, no country, group, or individual will get a pass in my fulfilling that responsibility of providing that full intelligence picture.
So you want to know why that question is very clearly asked in bad faith? Here's the exact reason why you know that. Because what did you expect her to say, even if she was selling out the country? Did you expect her to just be like, yeah, since you asked, yeah. The question is asked in bad faith, asked in a nasty tone and manner, and again, proving the point that liberals cannot get over their Trump derangement syndrome and emotions. She says she's insulted by or offended by that question. She should be offended by that question. Here is Senator Michael Bennet, who asks Tulsi Gabbard a question. And before she can even answer the question, he starts talking over her again, flipping out. And that's the point that I want to drive home. They're not interested in inquiring to see if this is a good candidate. It's not on their mind. They want to be the star of the moment. The best interest, the interest for the American people is not at top of mind for them.
Do you believe, as the chairman of this committee believes, as the vast majority of members of our intelligence agencies believe, that Edward Snowden was a traitor to the United States of America?
Senator, if confirmed as Director of National Intelligence, I will work with you to make sure that there is not another Snowden like
social
leak.
media. It's not a moment to propagate theories, conspiracy theories, or attacks on journalism in the United States. This is when you need to answer the questions of the people whose votes you're asking for to be confirmed as the chief intelligence officer of this nation. As my colleague said, this is not about you. It's about the people that serve the intelligence agencies of the United States. Is Edward Snowden a traitor to the United States of America? That is not a hard question to answer when the stakes are this high.
Senator, as someone who has served in
yes
uniform,
or no, is Edward Snowden a traitor?
I mean, And it's just so like, come on, with the Snowden crap, quit it out. How about you talk about some shit that's happening right now today? You know what's undeniable? The Snowden thing, everybody could go back and forth on that. Did he compromise national security? Yeah, he did. Could he have released all that information in a better way? Sure, he could have. But the vast and the severity of that subject matter, could you really trust anybody if you're him? No. Is there really any blueprint to follow if you're him? No. Talking about Snowden. And here, like, that's what this senator is so hung up on. Senator Bennett is so hung up on whether or not Tulsi Gabbard is willing to call Snowden a traitor. But yet, the intelligence that Snowden revealed really showed the true colors of our government. That's a topic for a different day. But, you know, I don't know what these hearings really are good for. Just put them up there and vote. You know, we're living in the age, everybody knows everybody. Everybody's business is out there. What do we need these hearings for? Because, and I say that because what value are we getting out of it besides a couple of clickbait moments? We know what we're getting with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. We know what we're getting with Kash Patel. We know what we're getting with Tulsi Gabbard. Everybody knows. Now, of course, these hearings are part of the process. But, you know, geez Louise. All right, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. When we return, we're going to talk about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and then we'll discuss some other headlines as well. But don't go anywhere. Stick around. We've got some awesome topics coming for you next. All right, so let's talk about a couple of these executive orders that Donald Trump has been signing. The newest being this post coming from Jack Unheard. So breaking Trump's new executive orders. So we're going to build an Iron Dome, remove transgender ideology from the military, ban critical race theory training. And what's our last one? Reinstate vaccine mandate discharges, which is what we were just talking about. So all of this coming at a press conference that Donald Trump just had in the past hour. So let's get a load of this.
And in a little while, I'll be signing 4 new executive orders. First is that I'm directing our new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who's going to be great, by the way. Thank you for the support. Thank you very much for the support. You really did support him greatly. I think he's going to be fantastic. I know him very well. I think he's going to be fantastic. He's what we need to immediately begin the construction of a state-of-the-art Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will be able to protect Americans. You know, we protect other countries, but we don't protect ourselves. And when Ronald Reagan wanted to do it many years ago, luckily we didn't. We didn't have the technology then. It was a concept, but we didn't. Now we have phenomenal technology. You see that with Israel. We're out of 319 rockets they knocked down just.
Okay, let's get into Robert F. Kennedy Jr. calling out the corrupt senators and their pocketbooks, their wallets, their bank accounts. We all understand, right? Big Pharma is paying each and every one of these senators that are flipping out on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Just a short while ago, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has never changed. Always the same. Wasn't until he started cozying up to Donald Trump that they changed their approach. Check this out.
And our kids are getting sicker and sicker. They're not getting better. Nobody here, all the people here who are defending this current system and defending these pharmaceutical industry profits, many of whom are taking huge amounts of money from the pharmaceutical industry, millions of dollars for many of these senators.
And of course, like, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has no fear, says it right to their faces. They all sit there and are like, holy shit, we can't believe that this guy is calling us out to our face. So like, I can't blame, I guess, the Democrat senators because, I mean, I can, right? Of course I can. But if you're them, these are just people who simply don't love America. These senators do not love America. Most of them do. Okay, look, when I say most, Jesus, let me not say most. We know the senators and the congressional representatives that love this country, and we know the ones that don't. And you know it when you see it. And that's pretty much all I got to say. So here's Bernie Sanders calling out Robert F. Kennedy Jr., trying to act as if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the corrupt one. Okay. Sure.
I'm going to make America healthier than other countries in the world right now.
Will you guarantee do what every other major country does? It's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies, it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
and protecting their interests.
Oh, yeah, Bernie, yeah. Let's play this.
America healthier than other countries in the world right now.
Will you?
Federal agencies,
This is the same clip here, better view.
including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
and protecting their interests.
Oh, I thought that would. No. I ran for president like you.
He says.
I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
because I had
receiver of pharmaceutical money
contributions from workers all over this country. Workers,
you were the single,
not a nickel from corporate
Bernie,
PACs.
you were the single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right.
Oh, yeah, out of 200 million. See, dude, come on. Yo. Damn. Like, does nobody care about this at all? It is shocking. It is shocking. Here's Rand Paul. Look at this. If you missed any of the confirmation hearings, here you go. Oh, with Margaret. I don't really care, Margaret. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff, indeed. All right, so let's get on to some additional topics. So here is White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, who's been doing a phenomenal job. She's on Good Morning America and gets asked the ridiculous question by Michael Strahan. Her response is fabulous.
But is there any concern that we risk losing people with years of experience like doctors and let's say scientists?
Well, most doctors who work in actual hospitals and medical institutions have to show up to the office. We know that employees are more productive and more efficient when they are working in an in-office environment. And that's what this administration expects. And I think that's what American taxpayers expect. Don't forget.
So Michael Strahan trying to make the case as if, oh, are we going to lose doctors and scientists through forcing federal employees to come back to work? What doctors and scientists do you know that are working from home? And, oh, before a liberal jumps and says, well, what about the remote doctors, like the teledoctors? That was designed for the fucking patient, not for the doctor to sit home in their office and do remote visits. It was designed for the patient who's sick to not have to burden themselves to go to the doctor's office. Remote teledoctors were not designed for the doctor to stay home and be remote. Hello? Like, God. and because that's the argument that I've seen. And it's just, get a clue. Come on. What are we talking about here? Let me see if we could find this JD Vance thing, because this was funny. Oh, here we go. All right, so we're kind of winding down the show a little bit. We'll talk about some. Really, I'm going to save the tariff topic for Monday. We've discussed quite a bit here tonight, so I'll end with this. This is funny. JD Vance had a meeting with Donald Trump in the Oval Office. Donald Trump has a red button that, when it's pushed, he's served a Diet Coke. Here's a funny video with JD Vance telling his story about witnessing the Coke button.
He screwed with me about that, actually.
Did he really?
Yeah, no, so we're just mid-conversation. I think we were with Senator Thune and Speaker Johnson, and he has this sort of beautiful, ornate wooden box on his desk with a red button, and he presses it.
Yeah.
And he just kind of looks over at me, and I'm like, sir, is that did something bad just happened?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I just ordered a Diet Coke.
That's what it is. It's the Diet Coke red button, and it comes running in. Then he'll ask you, would you like one?
Yeah, exactly. He screwed with me about.
That's pretty funny. JD Vance is cool, man. JD Vance is a cool cat. Look, I'm actually embarrassed to say this, but I just watched Hillbilly Elegy for the first time maybe 2 weeks ago. Well, in JD Vance, you couldn't ask for a better guy to be vice president and potentially a future president. JD is a normal guy, just like you and me. Cares about his family. And a guy who gets shit done. So love JD Vance. All right, great show here tonight. Thursday night, live with Chris's World. Thank you for being here, staying tuned in. Really appreciate everybody who likes and shares out the program, especially here on X, live on X, Rumble, and now YouTube, live with Chris's World every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thanks again, everybody, for being here tonight. Have a blessed weekend, great day tomorrow. Have a great Friday, and I'll catch up with you on Monday night. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you then.